So, intermittent fasting has become huge, right? And for good reason. It really is a powerful health tool. But, there's this one common pitfall, a trap that so many of us fall into that can literally undo all that good work in just one meal. Okay, let's get into it and figure out how to sidestep that trap for good.
All right, picture this. You've done it. You finished your fast. You're feeling that mix of pride and, let's be honest, you're pretty hungry. You're ready to eat. So, the big question is, what's that first bite gonna be? Because believe me, that first bite matters a whole lot more than you probably think.
And here's the hard truth. If that first bite you take is a slice of pizza, or a donut, or some greasy fried chicken, you might actually be canceling out the very benefits you were fasting for in the first place. I know it feels like a reward, but it can kick off this whole chain reaction of negative effects that just undermines everything.
So here's how we're gonna break it all down. First, we'll talk about what this post-fasting trap actually is. Then we'll get into the simple science of why junk food backfires so badly. After that, the good stuff, your first golden meal. We'll also cover how to handle those killer cravings and then finish up with how to build healthier habits for the long run.
Okay, so let's start with the trap itself. And look, it's a totally understandable mistake to make. I mean, you haven't eaten for hours, and that craving for something quick, salty, fatty, and just satisfying can feel absolutely overwhelming. But giving in right then and there is probably the #1 way people sabotage their own fasting success.
So, why is it such a terrible idea? It's not just about the calories. There are a couple of key scientific reasons your body reacts so poorly to junk food after you've been fasting. Let's dig into the why behind it, and I'll keep it simple.
To really get what's going on, I want you to think of your body after a fast as being like a completely dry sponge. Your whole digestive system has been taking a nap, and it's now primed and ready to soak up whatever you give it, like instantly. This means your body is in this incredibly sensitive and receptive state.
And this is where you're at a fork in the road. You can take that dry sponge and pour junk food on it. What happens? You get a massive blood sugar spike, your body gets a loud and clear signal to store fat, and the worst part, you actually end up with more cravings. Or you give it that golden meal, and you get stable energy, your body absorbs real nutrients, and you actually feel full and satisfied. Two totally different outcomes.
This is all because of something called the rebound effect. See, when your system gets that sudden shock of high-calorie, low-nutrient food after a period of what it thinks is scarcity, your brain's old-school survival programming kicks in. It basically panics and says, "Whoa, famine might be coming again. Store all of this energy as fat right now." Oh, and it gets even trickier. That junk food gives your brain a nice little hit of dopamine, that pleasure chemical. But because your body is in that super absorbent dry sponge state, that dopamine hit feels way more intense than usual. It's a trick though. It doesn't actually satisfy your body's need for nutrition, so you never feel truly full. It just makes you want another hit and another, creating this vicious cycle right when you're most vulnerable. Okay, enough doom and gloom about what not to do. Let's switch gears and focus on the solution. What should you be eating? This is where we bring in the idea of the golden meal. The perfect foods to gently wake your system back up.
And the whole goal here is super simple. You don't have to overthink it. You just want to choose foods that are really easy on your digestive system, which has been resting, and that are packed with the actual nutrients your body is screaming for. Gentle and nourishing. That's the mantra.
So what does that actually look like on a plate? Well, think about things like water-rich fruits, watermelon, berries. They're great for rehydration. A warm vegetable soup is incredibly soothing and gentle. You could try some yogurt or other fermented foods for those good gut bacteria. Simple proteins like eggs or tofu are fantastic, or even some oatmeal for that nice, stable, slow-release energy.
All right, so knowing what to do is half the battle. But let's get real for a minute. Dealing with those intense junk food cravings is a whole other thing. It's completely normal to want that stuff, so we need a smart, practical way to manage those feelings without just caving in completely.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've been so good, you've finished your fast, and your brain is just screaming for that burger. Sometimes just telling yourself no over and over can actually make it worse. So what's the strategic move here?
Here is your 4-step game plan. It's all about harm reduction. First, always start with a small, healthy snack, a piece of fruit, a little soup, something to take the edge off that ravenous hunger. If you still want the junk food after that, fine, but control the portion. Maybe 1 slice of pizza, not 3. Or see if there's a better alternative, like a grilled chicken sandwich instead of fried. And this is the most important part. Have it during a normal mealtime, not as the very first thing that breaks your fast.
And all of this leads us to the most important point of all, the big picture. Your health isn't defined by one single meal. It's about the patterns you create over weeks and months. It's all about consistency, not about being perfect all the time.
So please, hear me on this. If you do slip up, if you have that burger right after a fast, do not beat yourself up about it. It happens to everyone. One meal is not going to erase all the progress you've made. What really truly matters is that you recognize it and you get right back on track with your next meal. It's the overall pattern that counts.
And this right here is the question that gives you all the power back. A mistake isn't a failure, it's just data. It's a learning opportunity. You learn your triggers, you learn what situations are tough for you. So instead of looking back with regret, you just focus all your energy on that next choice and ask, okay, what am I going to do next time?
All right, so let's just quickly lock in the main takeaways. Number 1, your body is extra sensitive after a fast. Treat it with care. 2, junk food sends you on a blood sugar roller coaster and tells your body to store fat. 3, your solution is to start with gentle, nutrient-rich, golden foods. 4, manage those cravings with smart strategies, not just willpower. And finally, the big one, focus on your long-term habits, not on being perfect every single day.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Every time you break your fast, you're standing at a crossroads. And that one small, wise choice you make in that moment, well, it's a gift. It's a gift you're giving to the person you're going to be tomorrow, next week, and next year. Your future self will thank you for it.